Okay, here's the components that we have here. We have two magnets on our filter, O-ring on our filter, O-ring on the tube. .330 Torx. Okay, on our pump here, here's an O-ring that goes on this housing. Here's a metal clad seal that's pressed into here. Snap ring that holds our pump in. I have the pump drive gear. Now it didn't appear that this had a certain way to go. I did not measure the pins. Let's measure those real quick. I should have measured them before I took them out. One is considerably shorter. This is an inch 83. This one's an inch. Well, no, I guess it's not. Inch 81. So apparently maybe no difference there. As far as this plate, the dot faces up. I don't think it had a direction that it was supposed to go. I did mark where the dot was though. I marked it here, so that's where I'm putting it. I did not see a difference as far as the rotor goes, but this side was up, so I'm putting it up. Oops. Before I get going too much further, got a snap ring here, holds that on. Okay. Then our vanes. It doesn't look like there's marks on them, so I don't think it matters which direction they go. And I'm missing, there it is, slid up underneath there. Okay, there's two O-rings on here. And it looks the same. You can see where the dot was, so that's where I'm going to put it back. There we go. The dots on this were facing down. And it does have tabs on it, so make sure you get the tab where it belongs. Those two notches right there. I have this bevel plate, and looks like those tabs have to go in the notches there. We have this plate, and this is spring loaded, so you have to push down on it to get it in, and then get the snap ring in, or the E-clip into there. Once you get that all in there, which I think I'm going to go over here and use the arbor press to press this down. Either that, I'm going to get some help, because I don't feel like this thing flying all over the place. Once you go to put the pump in, the tabs have to line up, these three, and then snap ring needs to go in here, in this area right in here, and you have to press it in. So I'm going to use the arbor press to press this down also and get that in there. Once I get that in there, I'll be back. Okay, the pump's in. Now here we have all these holes. These holes have to line up. There's a sealing ring here. There's two on the back side here. There's a thrust race here for the gear to ride on, just like so. That's going to go on here. If the chain has a colored link on it, I've always found those to face up. I don't see a color on this one. Alright, I have to take this off a little bit. Get that down on there. Okay. Now, let's see if I can keep this somewhat together. 30 torques that hold all that in. That goes on here. Okay, a part that I forgot. There's this little dude right here. So far I haven't found it in any information. Mine was on the back of this pump right here. And looks like the two little tabs fit right in here. So it's pointing off this direction. And I also didn't mention, because I'm not doing it, but when you have this front seal out, there's a snap ring, and that holds that bearing in if you need to change that bearing. There we go. Yeah, get this line back up. Well, I should have put the filter on there. Do believe. Yeah, we put it on afterwards. It goes this way. Alright, I cut a couple bolts. Got to hunch up. Apparently I left them over there. I got to get the torque specs for this, and then we'll start in the center and work our way out. I'll let you know what the torque specs were when I come back. And what I did with the bolts. There's also a bolt that holds this filter on it. It's a 30 Torx also. So let me find all that, and we'll come back. It goes up here, has 2 O-rings on it. Goes in this hole right here, right here. Okay, we got the F clutch here. There's an O-ring that goes down in here. Okay, it goes down in that bottom groove. We have the clutch hub. O-ring goes on the outside. On the inside. These feet face down. Let's see. Does not look like it matters. Just got to get the splines lined up. Here's an O-ring that goes on the inside of here. Bevel down. I don't think it's in yet. Okay, I believe it's down. And we have a snap ring that holds that in. Then we have a race that I believe it just pops in. There we go. Then we have this gear. There is a snap ring that holds this bearing in. It is a super pain to get out. I'm not going to try to take that thing out. If you needed to get the bearing out, you're probably replacing the whole damn thing anyway. So I'm going to have to take this over to the arbor press and press this down. Once I press it down, let's see. I should have left this off so you could see it. Yep, should have left it off. Once I get that down, there's a notch right there. The tab on this washer goes there. Nut goes on top. Tighten it down, stake it in place. Okay, one thing I did find out about is this orifice hole right here. It's what tells the computer when this is applied and when it's applying, all that kind of jazz. So make sure that this hole is free all the way through. So I came back and I double checked that just to make sure, because this is the one that had that melted plastic in it, and I wanted to make sure that everything was copacetic. I wonder, a little late now. The way I get this thing out is I turn this upside down, I shoot air into the apply, and it pops it out. Okay, it looks like we're all the way down. Get our snap ring back in there. Now the other dog clutch, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it apart. It looks like that pin is staked in there. If I ever get another one of these in here, well, I will get another one. When I get another one of these in here, and if that drum is bad, or that shaft is bad, then I'll take it apart, and that part of it will be on Patreon. Okay, here's the parts that go in the back of the case. So we'll start with the diff shim. Shim goes in the case, and then the race. I'm going to keep this out for the momentary. You just press that in. There's also adjustable shim that goes underneath the race here. This has to stay out till you assemble it. We have seal that goes in the case here. We have sealing rings that go down on the bottom there, and they go together just like so. And they go down in the very bottom here. Make sure that they are right. Or they will not seal properly. There's a cage bearing that goes on the tip right here. There's this piece, a little lineup tab goes right there. There's really no need to take any of this out. So personally, I just leave it in there. It's 30 torques on that. Our pivot pin and our park actuator. This right here has to go in that notch in the case. This here goes on the front. We have our linkage. Make sure that that goes up inside. I got this right. I got this backwards. I'm looking at it wrong. Alright, goes in like so. Make sure it's behind that so it does push on it. Roll pin goes through there and here. Threaded end out. Make sure you change your lever seal. It's easier to do it with this out. You can do it without pulling all this out, which is what I would do if I was building this. It's already been built, so I'm just fixing a problem that it had. The other shop that built it couldn't make it work. Found out what the problem is. What caused it's another deal. I cannot find what the problem was caused by, but I know what it was. We'll talk about that when we get there. Then our detent goes with the roller facing up. This little tab has to go in that center hole. Make sure it's centered up. Where'd my bolts go? Well, I gotta find my bolts. Let's see. Okay, got them mixed up with the rear cover. When you tighten this down, these are 30 torques also. When you tighten this down, make sure that your roller is in the center of your rooster comb. Alright, quit moving away from me. Sometimes you just can't get it on camera. Alright, let's make sure that we are operating properly. Alright. Now down in the bottom of here we have our piston. We have two lip seals. The lip faces out towards you as you put these in there. Trying to put it in the wrong spot. Come on, get up in the groove. There we go. Alright, lube all that up. Okay. Our bevel plate. We have the snap ring. If you'll look, the little legs are curved up. That needs to face up. This step side needs to face down. And the opening of this is going to be right here. Right there and right here. Okay, let me get my plate. This is the actual plate that is made for this. You could probably do it other ways, but I just happen to have the plate for it. So that's what I'm going to do. I got this bar with the bolt in it. I use this to push against, and I use two of the case bolts to hold this in place. Put one in here. One over here. It'd be better if you pushed in the center, but this works. Alright, not much light here, so let me see if we are in there. And it appears that we are all the way in. Alright, I'm going to leave this pretty much down where it's at because I got to have it again to do other parts of this, so there's no point in me bringing it all the way up. Alright, here we are, snap ring in. Back side here we have this gasket in our plate, 1130 Torx. There, we'll start in the center, work our way out. All right, make sure that we did get them all. Alright, let me get the drums. We'll put those together and then we'll start stacking this. Okay, E-clutch. There's a bearing that stayed on here. I'm just going to leave it there. The molded piston on here needs to be pressed down. There's a molded piston here. Our bevel spring goes here. With that up, fingers up, this piston on top, and short end of the taper up. Okay, one set of steels was burnt in this unit, and the only way I could get them was to buy the whole steel module, so I'm going to go ahead and replace all the steels. We have a cushion plate, and we alternate clutches and steels all the way up. No, I do not soak my clutches. If you want to soak the clutches, go ahead. I've never seen a difference one way or the other. I get that comment all the time. Pressure plate on top with the step up. Snap ring. Okay, and the hub goes on top, and I'll show you how I do this. I do it a little bit different than the book says, I think. Okay, we'll go to the next drum. Now, the factory setup had, let's get this right, we had cushion plate, one-sided clutch. These steels were 177 thousandths. Then double-sided clutch up to here, had another single-sided clutch here, and then the pressure plate. and this all sits this way with the cushion plate up. Now the replacements did not come with one-sided clutches. Came with thinner steels. In fact, these steels are 108 thousandths, which was going to change my clearance by about 40 thousandths. So what I did, and we're going to see how this comes out, is I took that other one of the one-sided clutches, shaved the lining off of it. So I'm going to put that between the cushion plate and the steel, and then my pressure plate's going to be on top, and that made the dimensions, overall dimensions, come out the same. So it should make my clearance come out right. So since I have to put this on here first, I am going to get my gauge out and check the clutch clearance on this one and see how it actually comes out. Okay, battery died again, of course. So it's going to be the cushion plate, the steel, that is 108, clutches are 90. Of course, the 40 thousandths plate that I made, and then the pressure plate. Is that right? Is this right? So that should come out the way that it was. I hate to put that thin thing right there. In fact, what I might do is put it on this side. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll put it on this side. That way all the heat can dissipate into the pressure plate. So that's what I'm going to do there. That has to go down first. We have an O-ring here, an O-ring here. O-ring here. Cushion, bevel plate, fingers up. O-ring on here. Short end of the taper of the snap ring up. Of course, this all has to go down here first. Let me explain this other. After I get all that on there, this is your A-dog clutch. Shoot air in here and it pushes the piston up, or the dog clutch up. Shoot air in here and it pushes it down. As you shoot air in here, you should see, if you had some kind of liquid in there, you should see a little puff of air come out. That lets you know that that orifice is working. If I get another one of these in here, or when I get another one in here, and this is bad, I'll take all this apart and this will be on the Patreon side. As it stands, I'm not going to screw it up just to do that right now. 2 sealing rings on here. This is going to go up in the back side of here. Snap ring is going to go on there, and then you can put your bearing on. Okay, I'm pretty happy with my clearance. Shafts in, bearings in there. Goes with the step side facing out. I was reading on All Data that it says, talking about the single-sided clutches and the double-sided clutches, and it said that they're not interchangeable. I mean, it says you can't use double-sided clutches where the single-sided were. I don't know that if that means that you can't swap all this out. We're fixing to find out. So I'll let you know how this works out, but we got all this in here. This is my homemade plate, pressure plate, double-sided disc all the way up to the cushion plate. I think it's going to be okay. I think you can swap it out. I just don't think you can swap the double-sided for single-sided. I mean the single-sided for double-sided. It's going to make your clearance come out all wrong. If you're doing the other deal, you know, you would have the cushion plate single-sided facing this way, steel double-sided up to the last steel. Then you would have a single-sided facing this way and your pressure plate. But I'm pretty happy with the way that the clearance came out. We have this set here. We have lip seal with the lip facing out, lip seal with the lip facing out, O-ring on here. This sits in there just like so. Our plate sits on here, and then our set of clutches that goes into the case. When we get to there, we'll show them in the case. I'm at a standstill until I get my other friction that they shorted me, and we can start stacking this in the case. Alright, we'll move on to the planets. There's a bearing on here. It will probably come out. I tried to take it out and the race just came off the back, so I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, goes this way. The sun gear goes in the back side here. Snap ring goes on the front. Taper, short end of the taper up, just like always. Very few exceptions on that. See if I can get this on camera. Just sun gear underneath it. This bearing goes on with this side, oh sorry, this side up, kind of presses into place also. I had to kind of pry it out of there. There, I think it's going to stay. This ring gear here is staked into place. It's not going to come out. This planet here, the bearing, I tried to get it off, did not want to come. I have a feeling if it's bad, you're going to be replacing everything anyway. There is an O-ring down inside of here. And it goes around this ring gear right here. So you are going to want to take this one out. And it's got a heel bar up underneath it and popped it out. Alright, snap ring. And we have a bearing that goes here. No, it's made onto here. Stays on here, goes on here. This bearing goes on top. This planet sits on top of that. captured bearing down inside of here. There is a washer that pops on the back here. And this is side. Making sure I had the right side. There's really no need to take that washer off. This washer goes up here. There's really no need to take it off unless it's bad. Sun gear sits on top of here. And then this bearing sits on top of that. Okay, here's the small parts for this valve body. The dowel pins have a large end and a small end. The small end faces down. One goes here, one goes here. 236 thousandths rubber ball, red check valve, black, blue, black, large black. This one here, you got kind of mash the spring. It gets held on there. Gotta kind of twist it to get it off. If you want to take it off, I would say just probably leave it. And then we have the red check valve and spring that goes down here. Separator plate goes on top of that, and make sure that all the check valves are poking up through the plate. Valve body goes on top. This little notch right here has to go in that slot right there. Come on, quit being that way. Why are you being like this? God dang it. There we go. Okay, let me get the bolts that hold this together, and we'll be back. Okay, we got the plate that goes on here. It does have little lineup tabs that goes in the holes there. These 4 bolts are 2-inch 101. Make sure they are all the same. Should be. These here are all 1-inch 723. I believe every single one of them are the same. Yep, they're all 25 Torx. cleaner valve is still working. Okay, down in the case in here, there's a spot with 2 lugs, kind of about the 5 o'clock position. That's where we're going to put the lug of this pressure plate. Now there's different setups for different engines, so keep that in mind for this clutch pack. This little raised nub right there is going to go right here. The opening of our snap ring has to go around that. And let's see if our clearance comes out close to what it's supposed to be. Turn back around where it needs to be. You need to be pretty damn close to the edge of that nub with your snap ring opening. Alright. And that seems about perfect. Okay, and we have our selector plate. We got an extra clutch also, because they sent too many. Actually, I should have, I think I'll leave these out for the momentary. Well, no, I have to put them in. Alright, stop with the pressure plate on top. Down. And we need our drum. Make sure our bearing's on the back side there. Try to keep your shaft up, don't let it push down as you're going down into the case. And my bearing, let's see, I want this side into the hub here, and I gotta go see who came in the door. Okay, where was we at? Oops, that wasn't good. Okay, make sure your bearing's on there. Kind of pops into place. Alright, I think we are down. Yeah. Lube up our case. Belvo plate down. Lube up our piston. Get our snap ring. I don't see a bevel on it. Put our 6L AD pressure plate down. You could probably do it with just this, but I think we're going to have to go on this side. Okay, since we're off to the side, as we're going down, we're going to have to tap this side of the piston down. Okay, down here is where the opening of the snap ring was, so that's where I'm going to put it, and that's where I saw the last one. Even though I did not get to take the last one apart. I got down to this point. That's as far as I took it apart because I knew that shim went over there. Okay. Now we release the pressure and we can check our clutch clearance before we take this all the way off. I like that. Okay, we got our bearing on here. Got our bearing on here. Now we could air check our dog clutch and make sure it's working if we want to. Got a bearing on here. Captured bearing down inside of there. We have our sun gear. Thrust washer, bearing and race. Our transfer gear preload shim. If you haven't changed anything, as far as this goes, it shouldn't have changed. And this thing damn near fell off. Okay, transfer gear. Okay, this housing goes on with these ports facing over here. This has to spline into right here. Now they show it putting it on the bell housing. I tried it both ways on that last one, and I found this, for me, to be the easiest. Because this is just a pure pain. Okay. I believe we are down. Alright, differential. If I was building this, I would have put the axle seals in afterwards, because these springs are barely on there. Put you a thin bead of grease around the spring. The odds are I'm going to roll this spring off of there. And on the front case also. It's just, we probably going to have to buy some axle seals for this thing. Alright, that's not going to work. See if we can get this axle seal out. There we go. Alright, put your clutch hub in. Bearing on here. Spline the drum down. There's nothing that goes between the drum and the stator. Make sure your lube seal is in there. Put your metal gasket on. Alright, put the bell housing on. Put our bell housing bolts in. Now you just got to line your stator up with a dowel pin. Okay. Case bolts are the short ones. The stator bolts, or the support bolts, are long and they have a rubber seal underneath them. These two are short with this rubber seal. The rest are long with the rubber seal. I even did that. Knew it was the wrong one. There. It's my last one. $18 foot-pounds on all of them. Alright, I got to figure out how I'm going to position this camera so that we can see the valve body over here. Let me figure that out. Okay, we got long tubes. And medium tube, 3 short tubes, and then these two tubes. These two go here. One goes like this on the bottom. One goes like this on top. Short tubes go here. Medium tube goes here. Where it goes? Nope, that's speed sensor. Medium tube goes here. Two large tubes go down here at the bottom. Let's see, one's bigger than the other, I think. Yep. Larger diameter goes on the left. Smaller diameter goes on the right. We got to lube all that up. So our valve body is going to slide on. You can go ahead and air check everything if you wanted to. Our neutral switch has to line up on right there and right there. Our manual valve has to line up right there on here. Our speed sensors are going to bolt in right there. And here's our bolts for the speed sensors. 25 torques on the neutral switch. Once I get that neutral switch on there and the valve body slid up on there, because you're not going to be able to see me doing that, I got to have it out towards me. I don't have a camera mount over here. We'll be back. Okay, we got 5 valve body bolts that are 2.631 and 5 that are 2.942. The long ones go here. My battery's fixing to die, so I'm gonna have to turn this away from me to tighten all this down anyway. We're pretty much done. We just got the pan to go. Valve body bolts are 40 torques. The flat part of the connector needs to face inwards. There's 2 O-rings on it. Hopefully this doesn't die right before. That's usually how it goes. You could put the zip tie back on that valve body if you wanted to. Oh, behind the valve body on those speed sensors, make sure that you route the wires in such a way that they don't get pinched between the case and the bell housing. And just in case this battery dies before, the tab on this goes down, it goes right there. This is not wanting to go. Oh, I gotta put my valve body bolts on first. Let's see if I can get this to go up in there. Get my connector on it. Difficult because we're on camera. Always happens on camera. If I shut this camera off, it'll go right up in there. "71 inch-pounds on the valve body bolts, 88 inch-pounds on the pan. And I know this battery is going to die before I get this in there. I don't know who come up with this to where you can't get to it, but they need their butt kicked. And that's for damn sure. flat side goes over this way. Almost in there. There we go. Alright, now this goes up in there, just like that. Alright, let me turn this and tighten this down. 30 torques on the pan. The computer bolts onto here with 40 torques. And then we are done with this unit. We'll catch you on the next one.